effeminacy is chaos. Femininity, as beautiful as it is, as attractive as it is, it's chaos. Women are chaos. That's why we have events like this. Women don't have events about how to understand men. Because, for the most part, we're in order. We're usually very predictable, unless we're effeminate. We got the minds of our mother, like Jesse would say. Then we are emotional and we're acting like women, and then you can't figure them out. But when a man's being a man, he's very clear. It's very obvious, very cut and dry. Women, chaos. So the good news is that although we're living in a time of chaos, which is very evident, there's a future. Let's step into the present for just a moment before I talk more about that future. Will Durant says that a nation is born stoic, strong, and dies Epicurean. Anybody know what that means? Stoicism is kind of trending right now because there's a movement. Patriarchy is coming. There's a sense that something's going to change. It's very obvious. You might not see it, but you can feel it. And the fact that Stoicism's on the rise in a way means that it's coming. But Epicurean, there's no question about it. I don't think I need to go into the details of it. I did it in my first talk, but we know that men are suffering. Men are losing right now. Suicide rates, drug addiction, prison, regardless of what the TV say, because if you ever want to know the truth, do the opposite or believe the opposite of what the media says. Women make more than men. Women have more degrees than men. So it's topsy-turvy right now. We live in, like I say, diabolical disorientation. Up is down, down is up. What's good is bad. You ever notice that? When you speak up about what's right, you're wrong. And what's wrong is right. But you can't say nothing about that because there's been a giant, massive ideological subversion that has us all ridiculously brainwashed. I got so much I want to say. I'm going to get to that in a moment, but let's stick right here. Epicurean. Anybody know why they call it Epicurean? What's Epicurean? Who's Epicurus? What's Epicurus' philosophy all about? Nobody knows, right? But you heard the quote. Pleasure. 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 Anybody know the definition of effeminacy? The addiction to pleasure. Effeminacy is different than sloth because sloth is more an aversion to what's hard. I don't want to do it, it's too difficult. It's too hard, it's too challenging, too austere, too tough, I ain't gonna do it. That's bad enough to be slothful. That's sinful enough to be a sloth. But to be effeminate is not just an aversion to what's hard, but an attachment, an addiction, a holding on to. Pleasure. In the time of chaos, when things are topsy-turvy, when effeminacy reigns because we live in a matriarchy, men are effeminate. There's 4 kinds of effeminacy according to St. Thomas Aquinas. The first form of effeminacy is sensual effeminacy, addiction to food. Obesity is off the hook. I think I said in my last talk something like 66% of men are obese or overweight. In contrast to women, it's only about 54%, but everybody's fat as fuck. Sensual effeminacy is associated with good feelings through drugs, food, video games, sleeping in, jerking off, watching porn. All that. Addiction to sex. Need that sucky, sucky, mommy, mommy, licky, licky, pussy, pussy. So addicted that women reign. The only reason why women are, look, this is a pattern. And my whole point of the talk here is about the pattern. But the pattern does us and we do the pattern also. It's doing us and we're doing it. So we got to take responsibility for it, but at the same time it's happening. One of the things that we're doing, and what we've allowed happen, is for women to rule over us with what? Their one true value. A woman is valuable for what she is. A man is valuable for what he can do. You can't let that rule. But we have. So, sensual effeminacy, emotional effeminacy. What is that? You know what they're teaching kids in school right now? You know what they're teaching our boys in school right now? 2 + 2 = 4 only if you feel like it. How does that make you feel? All about feelings. I think we've been fucked by feelings because they keep telling us to be vulnerable, and it's a lie. They want us to be more like women. Being vulnerable is not masculine. It's emasculating, effeminate. Oh, I feel moody, stuck in a mood, depressed. Men ain't supposed to be fucking depressed. You could feel shit, but you can't sink into a mood. You can't let it be stuck to you. It's a damn shame to see a depressed man, because that means he let himself become inflated and deflated. He's attached to the high, and he crumbles with the low. Because a part of emotional effeminacy is not just depression, but it's also the elation that precedes the depression. Before every depression, there is an inflation. Check yourself out. Check yourself out before you go on a date, and how giddy you are and excited you are, and you're thinking about what's gonna happen before it even fucking happens. Think about when you see a girl before you even talk to her, you already married her. Think about coming to an event like this. Before you even get to the event, you already know what's gonna happen. Guess what? You're fucking inflated, because when you get here, somebody's gonna pop your bubble. Now depressed. Attachment to feelings, effeminacy. Then you have intellectual effeminacy.